We're live. Hello, and welcome. Noemi here, founder of ScaleWave. Allow me just one moment to also here on my end, just a bit align stuff. I'm not sure if you're aware, there's a cool option in Windows as well that is quite similar to Mac. You're able to add a tab to new split view, something I love to use, especially now when I am streaming also on multiple channels. And it's super convenient. And this is something that I'm doing right now, setting it up quickly. So it's going to be everything aligned and beautifully prepared for anyone who would like to watch. Hey, and welcome. I see people are joining. Glad to have you here. Okay, cool. All right. Mic is on. Yes, great. All right, and people are joining. Amazing. Hello, and welcome. Noemi here, founder of ScaleWave. Today's session is going to be one more of our AMA sessions. Specifically, we're going to discuss Amazon ads. Now, allow me also to just quickly pull everything here that we need for the session. Quick disclaimer, I just put in my contact lenses and everything is still blurry. So hopefully that I can still read through the comments. All right, cool. Let's begin. So hi everyone, welcome. My name is Noemi. I'm founder of ScaleWave. We are an ad agency specialized in Amazon advertising. Today's session is one of our Ask Me Anything sessions when we're going through all the submitted questions here live and also from those who submitted them via DMs or so on. And we're going to answer them. We're prioritizing Amazon beginner questions. Reason for that, 6 years ago when I started to learn about Amazon, the whole ecosystem, Amazon ads was one of my weakest links, and I had to learn from basics everything by myself. And during these 6 years, I noticed is that most of the time, the people or the brands that are really successful are the ones that are daring to ask also the quote-unquote stupid questions, and here I'm referring to beginner questions. The reason for that is because I'm seeing even 6 years ago when I started, there was so much complexity around advertising, and don't get me wrong, advertising is not simple. However, what I'm noticing is that people just want to complicate it even more and more. And today, and during the past 6 months since we were streaming these sessions live online, I feel that we achieved exactly the goal of these AMA sessions, answering all those questions. Reason for that, as I was saying, most of the time people are not going to ask the most basic questions that are going to help their business, and because they have never asked it, this is why they cannot implement it right away, especially if there are strategic questions, right? So as I was saying, right now I'm going to go through all the comments that are submitted via LinkedIn, Instagram, and also YouTube. And I do have set up here like multiple monitors in front of me, so I might be looking through like in different places, so you know what is happening right now. And know if your question is am I AI generated? Not today. I am not AI generated, although that it's always a good question that always comes up in the comment section. So just letting real person here, Noemi, hi. All right, cool. So allow me to just go through a quick sequence of how these sessions go. So we have a 1 full hour dedicated to these AMAs, and basically the AMAs is going to be around Amazon ads. Now I'm going to answer everything that is beginner questions first, because those are the ones that we want to prioritize. If you have more complex or more advanced question, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I'm still going to go through, and if we have time, I'm going to answer them. Also, if you have any questions related that is like business related, how to hire, how to fire, SOPs, processes, training even, feel free to also drop them here in the comment section, because I would also like to address them right away, especially if we have time and it's not taking away time from our core goal of answering Amazon AI sessions. So hey, hi everyone. I see that people are joining. All right, cool. So allow me to start right away. This, let me just a bit increase the questions because I cannot see so today. So a question. The first question is, if a search term gets over 500 impressions, fewer than 50 clicks, 10 orders, and 0 ACOS, what should I do with it? So great question. And here, the way how we'd like to structure this is asking the most important questions. Now, here you gave data. Here you gave the data that it's 500 impressions, fewer than 50 clicks, 10 orders, and 0 ACOS. Now, this is a bit strange because you're saying that it's 10 orders and 0 ACOS. What I am thinking it could be is that could be a glitch here happening, because if you have orders and you have 0 ACOS, that is strange. Usually what is happening, so the normal way of things happen is that someone is going to see your someone is going to see your ad, so you're going to have impressions. Someone might click on your ad, which you said you have 50, and then someone is going to order your product if they saw your ad and if they thought that the product is exactly what they were looking for. So you do have orders and then you have 0 ACOS. I would ask you just a bit more details about this question, because right now, if it's saying it's 0 ACOS, first thing top of mind is, could this be something that is Amazon glitch, or in this scenario, I'm thinking, could it be that it was a different product first viewed? So you have different variations and it was a different product viewed, and your product, so let's say you have 5 variations of color variation: a black item, white, green, blue, and yellow, say. And could it be that the black item got the clicks, but the white item got the purchases? That could also happen. And this is something that we saw on our end. Sometimes when this is happening, Amazon might give you this type of like setup with 0 ACOS. So in that case, what I would do, I would go and download your search term reports. But here, really important, select the product purchased, because there are different search term reports whenever you're going to whenever you're going to generate reports, there are different reports. Search term is the most common one. However, here you will select the purchase product. Let me know if that works. I'm super curious on your end. What do you think that it could have caused this? All right, the next question is, what are the key metrics I should check to evaluate PPC performance in just a few minutes? So when we talk about key metrics, it's really important for us to understand what are we looking for. When we're running ads, clearly we're looking for, did our ads generate these sales, right? We're not looking if it was a profitable sale or not. We're looking, hey, am I getting a sale from my ad? So first thing is going to be sales. Did we generate any sales? Then we're going to go down one more step, right? How many sales did we generate? Did we generate 5 sales, 10 sales, 20 sales from that specific campaign? Great. Now we know the how much traffic and how much traction does that campaign generate. The third thing that we're going to look into, how much did we spend on this particular campaign? And along the line, we're going to see, hey, if we spend more, then how many sales we made. The next thing we are going to look into is ACOS. How much, like, what is the ratio between whatever I spent and whatever I gained, right? So these are the most important metrics, I would say, and I would argue, because most of the time what is happening is that, yes, it's great to know how many clicks, how many impressions, what was the click-through rate, and so on. But most of the time, if you're not nailing, like understanding a bigger picture of what you are tracking, then it's going to be very hard for you to understand, all right, so now I'm tracking sales, I'm tracking, hey, does my ad works? Because at this point, we're not looking into optimizing everything. We are looking into, is this worked or not? Because if it does not work, then we would have to step back one step and see, okay, when we set up the ads, did we do or what we did not do that it did not generate the performance. So again, I love to see first sales, then how many sales, then the how much we spent, and then ACOS. And then along the line, we're going to see, all right, so this campaign does generate sales, it generates a large volume of sales. Next is going to be how to optimize from there. Or this campaign does not generate it at all sales, we did not got any impression, why? Let me know if that helped. Someone is asking in the chat where we are streaming from. This is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're streaming here. It is currently 1 p.m., 12 EDT time. Hello. So let me drink some more. Cool. So next question is, what are the first optimizations I should make to improve a struggling PPC campaign? Great. Let's define what struggling means in this case, because at different stages of your product, you can get different success, and at different stages of your campaign, you can get different campaign success, right? So here, let's define what struggling means. Are you defining struggling as of I'm getting sales, but my cost of purchase is too expensive? That is one thing to fix, right? Because then you will look into, is there a way for me to either get a better placement for my ads where it's going to convert better, or is there a way for me to lower my bids in order to get the same success I'm getting with more spend? Or is there a way for me to, now that I understand these two first metrics that is PPC related, is there a way for me to implement something that is non-PPC related, such as conversion, which is usually going to be your main image? So those are the first things that I would look into to define if a campaign is struggling or not. Then next, what I would look into is, so the first optimization I should make to improve a struggling PPC campaign. Really, I would just zoom out for clarity and see, so I started this campaign, what was the purpose behind the campaign? Because if you don't know the purpose of the campaign, then how can you optimize, right? Giving you an example, whenever we're onboarding accounts and when they already spent on advertising, first thing what we're doing is looking through whatever they did already that it's working for them and they might not know, or whatever they did that is not working for them that they might not know. And then a third thing that we're looking into, whatever they did that it's clearly not working for them, it's not part of the strategy that we would apply, that is something that we would be pausing. And if we want to test it, maybe in the next couple of months, then we would just make a small like X sign, and then that campaign would be paused until we are coming back to it. So those are really important things for us to understand, like what was the strategy of the campaign, what was the goal of the campaign, because if we don't know that, how can we optimize? So first off, I would ask, what was the strategy? And does the strategy still aligns to whatever my goal is now? Example, if you are just in a product launch phase, you just launched a new product and you want to get, eyeballs to the listing, your ACOS is going to be way, way higher just because no one really knows you. Or in case that you're already a known brand on other platform but not on Amazon, your ACOS might be super cheap because many people they were looking for your brand and they found you on Amazon. So that's why I'm saying that it's really important to first zoom out for clarity and understand, why did we define this why did we define it a struggling PPC campaign? And once that we understand that, then we can look into next questions. Let me know if that helped. All right, next one is, how does category targeting work and when should I use it in my campaigns? So category targeting, it is great. It is more of an upper funnel strategy where you would target a specific category of products. Example, let's say that you are selling a cat toy, a specific cat toy. Let's say it has this, how do you call it? I know, something that we bought for our cat, and it had this like feather on it, and it was just like a small, it was a stick, basically. It was feather on the end, and the other end, it was just like some foam on it, so it was easy to grab on it and just hold it. So let's say that is your product, right? So let's say if you are going to go for category targeting, your main category would be cat toys. Now, underneath that, what are the other categories that you would be targeting? And why am I explaining to you this way and trying to simplify it as much as possible is because most of the time what I'm seeing when it comes down to category targeting is either brands are not focusing on the correct category to target. So they are going too broad, and it's like the whole cat toys category I'm going to target in. And maybe your product would not be something relevant to I don't know, we also bought a small, robotic toy that is going to, again, it has feathers, but it's a different type of system that is going to turn on and off by itself, so that you might be seeing, again, it's a feather toy, but it's a totally different feather toy that me as a customer would do, right? The first one that is like a, how do we call it, a fishing hook, and you would play with the cat yourself. So that is one type of customer. The second type of customer is the type of customer that likes to have something that where the cat would play by themselves. So there's no interaction, So the second one might be called highly interactive cat toy. The first one might not be called like that. However, the first one actually is something that you would use as a person, human, use playing with your cat, the second one not. So that, I think that is something that most of the time I'm seeing brands are missing, that whenever they are targeting categories, they are not targeting super relevant categories. Now, keep in mind that you can also go to the route that wherever you want to go super broad with category targeting, maybe a lower bid campaign, and just see what sticks or how Amazon recognizes your product or classifies, labels it, In that case, you can, of course, go into a more broader, more general category of cat toys in this case. But again, I would advise you, it's really dependent on what do you want to achieve. If this is a discovery campaign where you just want to go and discuss as broad as possible keywords and have a low bid, that is going to be a different way of how you're going to handle that campaign than if it would be in exactly within your niche or category, maybe just one subcategories over. Let me know if that helped. Right, so hello everyone. I see that people are still joining. Welcome. My name is Noemi. I am from ScaleWave, and we are an advertising agency helping brands selling on Amazon. Today's session is one of our sessions when I'm answering all the questions that are coming in that are, right now I'm prioritizing beginner questions that are ads related, all right? So stick with me. Just quick intro of what you can expect. All right, cool. So what can I do if my PPC campaigns are getting little or no impressions? Whenever this is happening, we would want to understand what is causing the little or no impressions. Very important distinction is, does it get little impressions or does it get no impressions? Because it might seem very close to each other, little to no impressions. Actually, it might be different ways to troubleshoot things. So if you get no impressions at all, we would first analyze everything that is not listing related. For example, do we still have the buy box? Is it anything happening with our listing? Did the listing got suspended? Do we have inventory? So all the things that are not ads related. Reason for that is because, again, at the beginning when we started and we were like, okay, let's run ads and let's, help clients and so on. One of the things that we've now learned and we're not doing, and it's in our process, is to make sure that we still have the buy box. The reason for that is when you don't have a buy box, you're not eligible for advertising, right? So here, the differentiator between little and no impressions. If you have no impressions, first I would look into everything that is listing related. All right, cool. So once that you've gone through all those things and now you check mark, hey, my listing is fine, my listing is active, I do not have any of these issues, then the next thing I would look into, no impressions, is usually a bidding issue. So it might be that the keywords that you are aiming to bid for or you are bidding for are not generating enough eyeballs just because your bid is too low compared to whatever your competition is bidding, right? So then we would increase bids and we would wait for a few hours, see, hey, do we actually generated now more impressions? Because if so, then it's great, because then we know, okay, it was a bidding issue. Now, next thing that can happen is that if you still increase your bids and nothing is happening and you still have no impression, next thing could be that the search volume for that particular keyword is just so low that people naturally are not going to click on it. Example, maybe you're a more unknown brand, just launched on Amazon, you're bidding for your own branded terms. Highly likely that those are going to be the terms that are going to be close to 0 impressions. Why? Because no one knows you. In case that you already are coming from a different platform, let's say you have your Shopify store, you're selling even in stores, you're coming to that Amazon platform, and then you're bidding on your branding terms, probably then this is not going to happen again. But we have to identify what is causing the root issue, because if we don't understand that, it's going to be very hard for us to go deeper, right? And if you have little impressions, again, this can be caused by the fact that the keyword itself, the keyword itself doesn't have search volume. The second thing, again, can be a bidding issue. Maybe you're bidding way too low. So again, here we would be increasing the bid. But it's really cool that you asked little or no impression. If you see from little to no impression, actually there are certain things that one is causing no impression at all. And then the second case, it could cause little impressions. Let me know if that helped. Okay, drinking just a bit. For those interested, I have very yummy pineapple and mango tea here to keep myself hydrated. All right, cool. Next question is, how do I remove negative keywords that might be hurting my PPC performance? Very easy to remove these ones. The way how we would do it in Scaleway, we are going to pull a 30 days performance report. Here we're looking for search term, specific search terms. And then for those specific search terms, we're looking at a few things. From all the search terms that generated 0 sales technically, right? From those, which are the ones that are closely describing our product, yet it's not our product, because those might not be necessarily negatives just right away, right? Which are the terms, then the second, which are the terms that are explicitly not describing our product? For example, I just showed you here this, right? So this is a glass container. If someone would be searching for tumbler that is stainless steel, my product should not show for it, right? So stainless, everything that is stainless steel should be considered negative, or even everything that is stainless could be considered negative phrase. So let me know if that answers your question, but the easiest way for us is going to be download the last 30 days report and answer these questions. Okay, that's a funny question in the chat. How to get quick answer from God? I don't know. If you know how to find that out, I'm going to listen to it as well. Maybe God already answered. We're just not paying attention most of the time. All right, next question that is Amazon related is, how do I remove negative keywords that I'm... Okay, so this was the how do I remove negative keywords. All right, so getting back to your question, because we explained what negative keywords are, your question is, how do I remove negative keywords that might be hurting my PPC for performance? Again, you would still be doing the same process. So downloading your 30 days search term report, and then there you will also see whatever is already negative. Now, from whatever is negative, you would again look into, hey, if this is my product and I, by mistake, added something negative to it, that should not be. So if, for example, I added glass in phrase match, and this is already from glass, that could be something that you might want to remove. So the way how we are going to do it, again, get enough data, then based on that data, just go through all the keywords that are there, see which one are clearly not relevant for your product, keep them in, but the ones that are tricky, especially like, for example, glass in phrase match, that can really bring down a lot of good keywords, right, for your product. So those are the first one that I would be negating them. There's also a quick option to do this from your campaign manager, so that can be also a way to do it. Again, quick reminder, this is an Amazon PPC session, Amazon ads related. We are answering beginner questions. Those are the questions that we're going to prioritize. Okay, cool. Next question is, what's the safest way to scale Amazon ads without losing profitability? There's a safest way, But my question is going to be back right at you. When it comes down to if you want to scale, let's assume that you want to scale, that price for scaling is going to cost you, right? You might be testing new things, you might be doubling down on things that work, yet still you're going to spend more. So when it comes down to safest way to scale without losing profitability, I think here you have to really ask the question, okay, so what is my 3 months goal? Do I want to gain additional market share? If yes, then probably you're going to test things that you don't know exactly also how they are working, because you might be targeting, as one question just came in earlier, a category that is a more broader category. What you're going to do, you're going to generate more eyeballs to the product, but there's no 100%, way of making sure that you are actually going to get sales. So here my question to you is, if you want to do the safest way to scale on Amazon, first off, just make sure that you're going to spend on things that already you know it work, and it might be just the budget needs to be adjusted, just it needs to be increased, right? That is one of the safest way to scale without losing necessarily profitability, because there what you're doing, you're not even optimizing any bits, but you're allowing only the campaign to just get more money for something that already works. So that is one of the safest ways. Second way how you can do it is, if you want to scale with products that already work. What am I saying by that is, most of the time what I'm seeing is that whenever someone wants to scale, they're just going to, hey, okay, here's my full catalog, just run ads for it. And then I'm like, okay, we can run ads for it, but then you have to be aware of the fact that we wanted to sell product A, right? Let's say we wanted to sell this remote. Now, if I'm throwing in this remote and also the headphones, these two are two different person who are going to buy, right? Maybe the one who is looking for remote is not looking for a headphone as well. So then it's going to become, which of the products actually is more profitable for me, and two, which of the products I do want to push on market to gain additional market share. So those are the things like right now come top of mind that I can say that they are safest. Again, it's still testing. It's still testing and seeing what works, what does not. Because even when you're just increasing the budget, and it can sometimes happen that you're increasing the budget and the budget is going to go to, things that you hoped it's going to work, and then suddenly something is changing. So that's why I'm saying that, yeah, we want to make sure that it's as safe as possible. And the way how we're doing that, we're controlling our knowns and we're not controlling our unknowns. Like here, for example, launching different campaigns for product that you have not tested. Okay. Again, more irrelevant questions to Amazon. Let me go through. Scroll through. So okay, next question is, what are the best ways to lower tacos while continuing to grow sales? The way how we would look at tacos, it's a non-advertising metric. I know that many brands are considering that tacos is an advertising metric. It is not. So when it comes down to tacos, then we would look into everything that is not advertising related, specifically every element of your listing and every element of your inventory, every element of the way how you're shipping. Clear example. So when it comes down to, again, this remote control, maybe my listing is for this remote control. Now, my listing, can I make it convert quicker? Then that is going to be a best way for me to lower my tacos rather than just cut my ads. Why? It's because my ads might be on an expensive side, which, okay, that can happen, especially in beauty, supplements categories, and even food categories. But now that I acknowledge that, and now that I worked on the PPC end, the tacos, it's still going to depend on the listing itself. So I would look into, did I did a good job compared to my competitors to make sure that my product has all the details one would need in order to convert, aka make a purchase, right? If yes, great. If not, what I would be doing, let's make sure that that is improved. Second thing is pricing. If you're selling a $50 product, everyone in your competitors, everyone in your niche, your competitors are selling it for $20. Honestly, that's a hard way for you to convert, just because you are going to get clicks but no conversions, right? Third thing, are you shipping FBA? Are you shipping FBM? Are you fulfilling it yourself, right? Because that is also going to be a trigger of how quickly, once that someone clicked within my listing, do they consider to buy my product right away and they have to wait 5 days, or do they can get the same product the same day, especially when a warehouse is nearby them, right? So those are going to be first the non-PPC questions that are going to impact tacos. I would be looking into it. One that really many brands that I'm talking to, actually they are missing is, hey, what is your most profitable product? Can we generate more spend towards that product? Do we have inventory for that product? Can we generate, can we redirect success towards that product? And this is something that especially brands who have larger amount of catalogs are going to face, and that is a really good way also to lower tacos while growing your sales. What I would do advise in any of these cases, whatever you would test only one thing at once. Again, from experience, and again, being pushed by, hey, I want to test 10 things at once and I'm going to test them. What is going to happen, or what you surely don't want to get to, is getting mixed data and not knowing what actually worked and how it works. So I would advise you always test only one thing at a time. Okay, next question. How can I use PPC to increase my product's visibility on Amazon? So basically, that is what Amazon ads are. They are a source for you to get more eyeballs to your product. And if you are conveying whatever someone would be looking for when they are looking for your product, they are going to purchase your product. So it's really easy to get more visibility. Now the question is, are we going to get sales as well? Because getting visibility and getting sales is not the same thing. You can get a lot of visibility, you can create campaigns for your product, but if it's not selling still, all right, you just created visibility. So it's going to be really important to first that you got visibility, so you got eyeballs to your product. Next, it's going to be, how can you always improve your click-through rate, which is going to be non-ad related stuff. Again, thank you for everyone for joining. We're 35 minutes in. Maybe we're going to call it just a bit short today. My throat is sore. Okay, great question. So when does it make sense to hire an Amazon PPC agency instead of managing campaigns myself? If you have the time to manage ads yourself, and if that is something that you're passionate about, and it's something that you can learn on a weekly basis and invest time on a weekly basis, I think that you should do it. And you should do it. Why am I saying this? Even if I am an ad agency, I believe that you should be understanding what is going on an account level. And then also it's going to be easier for you, maybe if you're outsourcing, to ask specific questions. Now, when you should not be doing, and this is, I believe, most of the brands that we're talking to, Amazon ads is a skill. And it's a skill set that it has to do with marketing, and marketing never sleeps. So day in, day out, you have to be learning and improving and learning more and improving more, and then just research on the platform and see that, in your ad console, things are changing constantly. And if you did the mistake of not optimizing your bids, God forbid, for the past 2 weeks, you're still having the same bids, then that is not good, right? So what I'm saying here is that maybe it would make sense for yourself to manage your campaigns yourself. If you have maybe one product, it's a smaller brand, you don't want to invest extremely a lot of time in, creating a brand for yourself, or you simply just have a lot of time on your hand. Again, 6 years ago when I started, I did this by myself. Keep in mind, back then it was just my husband was working. I had my full time, like, hey, we want to create a brand, I'm going to invest a lot of time in it. So that's why I had the advantage, and that's why I did it myself. In case that, you are working 40 hours per week, and simply you just have other skill sets that are not Amazon ads related, I believe that it's going to take a lot of time for you to just catch up. And here, a really good question I actually had with one of our previous brands that we managed. They were saying, hey, should I look, I did ads myself, and right now I'm just considering to hire this support out. And I was saying, great, now you can focus actually on what you're really good at, right? Because keep in mind that whenever you're investing time, something that is not your skill, first off, it's going to be, you are going to just learn a lot, right? Which is great. You are going to execute, which is great. But then I think one of the hardest things that right now it's not clicking, and it's going to click only after months and even years, is how to quickly troubleshoot to see exactly what is going on, recognize pattern, and adjust. Because otherwise what is going to happen is that most of the time what I'm seeing, brands that are managing their own ads, they don't even have the, it's one day I'm going to optimize my bids, or I'm going to look into this, or I'm going to look into that. They don't have that because they are wearing so many hats. So again, do not want to discourage you if you want to say, I am going to manage my campaigns myself. But also when it comes down to hiring an agency, look at your time. Is your time best spent into bringing a new product to the market, or maybe you're really good at marketing, but on other platforms, great, do those things, and then in the meantime have someone help you with managing your advertising on Amazon. Okay, one more agency question. So what should I look for when choosing an Amazon PPC agency? Really look into what is the biggest pain the agency is going to solve. Reason for that is because you can ask all the questions, and I also created a specific in-depth video, like 30 minutes, where I'm going through all these questions you should be asking before hiring the right Amazon ads agency for you. What I noticed is that when it comes down to choosing an Amazon agency, first off, you would ask, okay, what are you doing and what are you not doing? Most of the time, these are like unclear. And if you're not going to ask, usually what is going to be is like if they're offering you a contract, or if they're going to put what is in scope and out scope, it's going to be more clear. But what I'm seeing from my end, it's happening even when on a clear proposal and or even contract, you're writing these are in scope, these are out scope. Brand owners always are thinking that just because I hired you as an Amazon ad agency, you should be helping also with pricing, you should be helping also with inventory, you should be helping also with my images, and so on and so forth. And then that's great if the ads agency are able to do it. But if not, then it's going to be constantly a back and forth, and it's going to turn into a consulting thing. So before you're hiring, just make clear, hey, I'm looking for an ad agency, I'm looking for consulting, or hey, if you're not offering consulting, why? And then what is another option that I can have in order to make sure that I get more value than that. And just keep in mind that if you're going to ask for consulting as well, probably it's going to be priced just a bit higher. Okay. Love this question. Next one. So when should I stop running Amazon PPC campaigns, and what happens if I do? You should stop running Amazon PPC ads or campaigns in the next scenarios. One, you are going to run out of stock. Really, really important. This is, again, one of the lessons that I learned when we ran ads for our own brand. It was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Finally, I got momentum. I ran ourselves out of stock the very first time. I did not do it anymore. So just be careful to not run yourself out of stock. If that is happening, lower your bids and or even stop running Amazon ad campaigns. A second occasion when you would stop running Amazon campaigns is whenever you clearly see that maybe it was something wrong with the product, right? So again, God forbid you did not do a product inspection, and what you find out is that there's certain like defect in the product, and then what you don't want to do is that for a defective product, get all those returned. Again, that is not a good thing. Another case when you would be stopping your Amazon ad campaigns, here it is more strategic way is I just started these campaigns 3 months ago. Do these campaigns still align with the goals that I have for this month or even this quarter? Sorry, if they don't, you would pause those campaigns. Nothing is going to happen. You're just redirecting budget towards something else. Again, probably there are also other ways when you would be stopping running the campaigns. This is something that are the most common. And what happens if you do? Simply nothing. You're just reallocating budget to something else. All right, guys. I'm going to run for 5 more minutes and then we're going to wrap up. My voice it's not at its strongest today, but hey, it's okay. So next question is, can PPC actually help improve my organic ranking on Amazon and how? Great question. I'm going to answer this. This is one of the most common questions that actually come to the session. And reasoning behind is that whenever you are so Amazon is a platform when once that you're generating a sale and Amazon thinks that the keyword that you run ads for is relevant to whatever you sell, then it's going to organically push you up top, right? Why is this important for you to know is that sometimes what can happen, what we're seeing on our end is that if you're running ads for keywords that are not highly relevant to your product, yeah, you might be getting impression, but organic ranking is going to take way more than something that is super specific, a keyword that is super specific to your listing. For example, this one is going to be tumbler. It's going to be glass tumbler covered with, what is this? This is kind of like a, let's say glass tumbler, right? Right now my words are just escaping me. Glass tumbler. Anything that it would be tumbler that can be also stainless steel. If you're going to target stainless steel, there's a high chance that you're not going to convert for it. Therefore, even if you run ads in exact match, are not going to convert for it. So why am I saying you this is because when organically you are going to convert for a purchase, Amazon sees that and Amazon is going to push you higher and higher on their search page, and that is going to be organically. So yes, it can help, but it must happen a conversion. Otherwise, it's not going to help organically. Okay, last one also is coming about Amazon PPC agency. So what services should I expect from a good Amazon PPC agency? When it comes down to this, again, Amazon ads. So if they are providing you Amazon ad services, it should be Amazon ads related. It should be not catalog work, not design works, but first off, Amazon ads. Now, when it comes down to Amazon ads, you should be knowing that there are certain categories of knowledge when it comes down to this. For example, in ScaleDev, how I put it, even whenever we are hiring for for our marketing agency, it's going to be, is this a junior level? And junior level is going to be the one that you are creating SOPs for. You are going to train them. You are going to, maybe they have zero knowledge in, in Amazon ads. You are going to provide them, lots of SOPs, and you are going to give them anything that is data entry thing. So anything that's not strategist. Second is going to be intermediate. So if this is a person who already understands how to do data entry, already they ran a few ads on accounts and they know how to manage it, they are going to be the next level. Then the third one is going to be a strategist. And why am I like putting point on this one is because most of the time, whenever you're hiring someone, especially I'm seeing, tire kicker brands, because that's also one thing, right? So they are going to look into how to pay at least as possible for your ads. And especially when they are coming to us, we are the strategist level. So we are helping them with more than just daily execution of bid management, campaign creation, negation, and so on. We're helping them, okay, if you want to launch this product, what is the next 5 steps that we can implement? What is going to happen is that if you are not receiving that type of strategist level, you are just going to get someone who's like, yes, ma'am, or yes, okay, I can do this the way how you say and the way how you've done it beforehand and so on. So it's going to be really important for you whenever you're saying, what should I expect from a good Amazon PPC agency, is that, hey, does this person already, do they understand my industry, right? Do they understand my category? Do they understand what my goals are? And are they able to help me with those goals? Because your goals, if it's just bid management, trust me, you're going to hire an agency that is good for bid management. Probably they are not going to cost so much. You might be even considering a tool for that, only bid management. But if you're thinking for someone who is not only bid management, but also going to help with reporting and also going to make sure that based on that reporting on the new campaigns that have been created and new strategies that have been applied, can they also look at the next 5 steps to help me? And based on that, you will know your answer, right? So if they are able to do so, great. We would define anyone at any stage good. It's really at the stage that you are right now, which of these trees are going to be the most helpful for where you are. Because keep in mind that right now, not to bash that someone who just started out ads, they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I'm saying yes, they might not have the same 6 years of experience that I have, but they might be brilliant at data entry and paying attention and detail oriented and helping with bids and helping with all those stuff. So that's why I'm saying that when it comes down to good, you have to define good for yourself, because otherwise you are going to be having a hard time of choosing between too many service providers that are offering you different things. So again, is this a junior level agency that is helping me with basic stuff that is data entry? Great, then they are a good fit when you define good, right? Or is this someone who's a strategist that is going to be able to, maybe you want to scale to 10 million revenue, right? How do you do that? There you would need a strategist. And that is what good looks like. There, the junior level is not going to be any more good. Let me know if that helped, because I believe that's really important. And also I want to advocate for people who are just starting out their journey in Amazon ads. There can be really good people who are super cheap, to hire them, and they are going to be a great fit for your company. However, the good there that you're hiring them from probably might not be fitting with whatever strategies do you have, for your account or whatever you plan for your account. Maybe next year, if you want to grow your account to X, they're not going to be a good fit, even if they are good and skilled. Okay, cool. I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much for everyone joining. My name is Noemi. I'm the founder of ScaleWave. We are running Amazon ads for the brands that we manage. We are focusing on 6 and 7 figure brands. Really important, we are focusing on brands where we see that is a good fit, a good partnership. Now, if you went through this whole session or even parts of it, and if you believe that you need someone on your team that has my level of expertise, or even you would like to have a second pair of eyes going through your listing and see, okay, what is next possible, feel free to book a call with me where we are going to go through your brand. We're going to audit whatever currently it's running on your account, and from there we can see if yes, we decide to be a good fit, how do we make sure that we're going to grow your brand. Again, thanks so much for watching. If you want to watch more of these sessions, we are streaming them live every Monday from 1 p.m. EDT. Till then, be good. See you next time.